Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo! Yes!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Hogs in the half court. Wade's going to skip it to Amude. Left corner this time. 3-ball good. Stanley Amude with the three. It's a 13-4 Razorback lead. JD spins at the foul line. Finds Jalen Williams in the corner. Three-pointer good. Jalen Williams coming into his own. First field goal of the night. Hogs by 11. Williams out of there with it. Here come the Razorbacks. Note around Henderson, drives, feeds Tony on the right wing. He'll give it back to JD. Note inside, Tony kicks it in the corner. Wade for three, and it's good. Second three for Wade. Hogs up by 7. Likes on the other end, drives to the elbow, cut off, feeds Jalen Williams for a two-hand slam. Likes with the assist, 71-68, 2 minutes left in overtime. Williams has the ball, here we go. Jalen looking for somebody, drops it into Devo, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, Hogs avoid the foul, and Mude to the other end, slams it home with .9 to play. And Mude slams it home with .9 to play. Radford's going to inbound it in the backcourt, and I mean all the way to the other end. They've got to get the pass somewhere around midcourt.
We're in good shape
try
here.
to get the shot up there. Arkansas up 76-73. They've got to have a three to tie it. Radford gets the ball in the backcourt. It's going to have to be a baseball pass. Fires it toward the front court. Picked up by Diarra. Three at the horn. Rims out. No good. Arkansas wins. Wow. Diarra made a heck of an effort.
Sure did.
But the ball stayed out, and the Razorbacks win it.
Kind of wondering when we start the show today where to start with everything that happened over the weekend on the Hill. You got your football recruiting just continues to roll. Going to be looking for a new defensive line coach for football. And, hey, you kind of got to start with games that actually happened. Games on fields, on courts.
Normally a pretty good place to start.
So 2-0 weekend for Arkansas basketball, and you hear the calls from Chuck Barrett over the A&M game. That was an entertaining game.
Ooh, was it?
Fingernails left by the end of that. You are better than I am. Women took care of business pretty easily against Mississippi State yesterday, though after being tied at halftime, had to come out with, I think, their most impressive quarter of the season with a 32-point third quarter to pull away. And it's a nice weekend. And you know, one of the great things I love about this, Drew and Maddie, is that not only did Arkansas win 2 games over the weekend, one for each gender, but they beat the Maroon teams. And you know how I am with Maroon.
No, you hate it.
In the SEC. I don't know if I say, I hate Maroon because I used to do UALR games, and Maroon is their color. It's just not, I don't know.
That's right. That's my alma mater.
Yeah. It doesn't bring out the beauty of our eyes.
People would always say, what a bunch of maroons.
Yes.
And I never took that as a compliment.
I think that was Bugs Bunny that said that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a doctor in the house?
Yeah, but anyway, so I mean that's one of the things I love about it. You know, anybody loves beating A&M when you're in Arkansas.
Of course.
I don't even think it's just Arkansas. People just love to beat A&M because they're A&M.
I got a little worried about that one A&M fan, though, that was not too far away from us at Bud Walton Arena. He was getting a lot of looks, especially as A&M kept creeping back, crawling into it there in the late second half, overtime. Ooh, I really hope he got out of there okay. Now, if A&M had won, I don't think that man would have gotten out of Bud Walton Arena with all of his limbs, some of the eyes he was given.
Yeah, he was heckling Razorback players during their free throws. He thought he caused a miss or two.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't miss all that many free throws, so I'm not
made
sure
him
if he had
continue
much
to
of
do
an effect anyway. Yeah. I didn't feel bad for the guy. I mean, he had the look of the shocked fan on his face. He must have felt, oh, this is going to be our game after A&M takes their first lead in the opening minute of overtime. That's the thing you hate about. I mean, look, you look back at it, and it was an entertaining game. It was mostly really well played by Arkansas and A&M too. I mean, if you're able to come back and tie a game on the road against a team that's playing as well as the Hogs are, then you must be a pretty good team too. But to see Arkansas get up by 16 in the first 8.5 minutes, you're thinking. I wonder what you were thinking. That's probably, I shouldn't tell you what you're thinking. I wonder what you were thinking. Did you think, well, they're just going to run away with it because look at how they're playing right now, or did you know, because of a game of runs in basketball and things can happen and teams come back, and that's just what's happened against Arkansas this year, even when they've played a really good opening 5, 6, 7 minutes. But to see a team lead for, what was it, the first 39 minutes of the game?
Yeah, they had to, and then it got tied, I think, in the last minute. Yeah, right down to the wire. I mean, I don't think there were 2 ties. I think the only tie that there was in regulation would have been right at the buzzer, right at the end of it. So leading up to it, I mean, this game had everything that you could possibly want in a basketball game. It had incredible runs. It had incredible shooting. I mean, you had highlight dunks left and right. I mean, forget the Jalen Williams dunk and the Stanley Umude dunk in overtime. I mean, go back to, was it Devo Davis, the behind the head alley-oop catch?
It was Tony.
Adis Tony. I mean,
that's
that was
the dunk of the year.
At the time, that was going to be the dunk of the year until Stanley Umude literally turns out the lights and fireworks go off with 0.9 seconds left to go in overtime. Just everything that you could possibly want out of a basketball game, the drama, the build up to it. Like I said, great runs. And I mean, ultimately, in that first half, you thought Arkansas was going to run away with it a lot. I mean, you look at just their shooting performance, shot 40% in the first half, 50% from beyond the arc. I mean, that's incredible for this team. I think they finished at 35%, which is really, really good when it comes to talking about Arkansas Razorback basketball and shooting the deep ball from 3. So it was a great game, and I'm really glad that I got to be there, and that was my first introduction to Bud Walton Arena. And I said it this morning. You got a good
introduction with a sold-out crowd, man, and the roof ready to blow off.
And the crazy thing is, I said it this morning that I've never heard a basketball arena get louder in my entire life. And Tommy and Ty were telling me that it was good, but that's like an 8. And to me, that felt like a 12. I mean, I was trying to take some pictures and just had my hands right there, my elbows on the desk, and my camera was shaking because I was touching something. Like, that's how loud and the vibrations of the building were going.
You just wait for Saturday, February 26th, CBS.
That's what
Kentucky.
they tell me, but I don't know how it can get louder.
It can.
We were sitting literally not very far apart from each other, and we had to scream at the top of our lungs to try to communicate. Like, that is extremely loud.
It does get louder. The Kentucky game from a couple years ago might be the loudest that it's gotten in a long time. And there's something about when Kentucky comes to town. It's that you saw that this last weekend at Auburn, right? So it probably will get a little bit louder, and maybe some of that will have to do with if this team is still playing at the same level that they were playing, well, against A&M, because you got a month until that Kentucky game. And, now you feel like you really got like a chance to really get rolling before the difficult part of the schedule comes and hits next month. You get Mississippi. Ole Miss is playing 4 games in the next 8 days. They've got Florida tonight.
Did you just correct yourself and go from Mississippi to Ole Miss?
Well, I'm
normally you go
right
backwards.
Here.
I'm just.
Well, the Rebels.
Are you okay? You feeling fine?
I'm all right. I'm
okay.
All right. They're playing 4 games in 8 days. I mean, that's going to be a little bit rough. And the second game will be Arkansas at the Pavilion on Wednesday because they got to play today. And then you get West Virginia, and that's probably the best team you're going to play until taking on Auburn, which I think maybe on February 8th. I guess we'll find out in a little bit, but they should be the number 1 team in the country after the win over the Kentucky Wildcats. But, Mississippi, West Virginia, Georgia, and then Mississippi State. These should be You want to see them go 4-0 over this stretch. It's doable. Like the road games are not the toughest places to play. Georgia's a hot mess of garbage. Mississippi's playing poorly right now. You get West Virginia at home, Mississippi State at home. I think you can go 4-0 before facing Auburn, the team that's playing, off the charts right now. If you watch that Auburn-Kentucky game on Saturday, that was quite a display of athleticism by both teams. And Auburn looks really good. Just about Auburn right now.
Yeah, they do look like the best team in the country and the front runner for a long March run and possibly winning the national championship. And you talking about Arkansas and going into this next 4-game stretch after winning the last 4, it's a real possibility that you could be in an 8-game win streak when you get to that Auburn game. Just due to the fact that, like you said, Ole Miss, Georgia's not very good. Talk about West Virginia this weekend. Not Bobby Huggins' best teams. A decent team, but I wouldn't say that it's on par with what you saw last year and the past few seasons from Morgantown, West Virginia. So it looks to be wide open right now for Arkansas, and everything that we were talking about a month ago, talking about how I don't know that there's a rotation out there that will work. I don't know if the combination of these guys, while it looks great on paper, just won't translate to the basketball court. It's a complete 180. That's what winning can do. You win some ball games, people get confidence in you. We talked about story from my alma mater on Friday. Well, you want to change the narrative, you go win ball games. You want people to stop talking negative about you. You win something, you give them something positive to talk about. And that's what Eric Musselman and this team has done. They flipped the script. They've been really good, and it's all started on the defensive side. As soon as they got the defense worked out, offense came, and everything else has fallen into suit. And it's exciting to watch this team again. They're now appointment television again. Whereas a month ago, it was almost, I guess I'll turn it on. But now you're excited for it.
Yeah, now it's, you got your appointment ready to turn the TV on Wednesday at 6 o'clock when it's Arkansas versus Old Maid. I like where JT's gone with this on the text line. JT, and I disagree about quite a lot. And every once in a while he'll come through with a text of monumental proportions. If I have trouble calling Mississippi, it's because everybody, you always look at anytime that they're published online or on the game notes, it's always Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Old Maid. A lot better. I like it, JT. I'm going to steal that from you. I'm not paying you for it. BE tells you, Drew, that old people get loud. That's right. Did you stand a cheer? He didn't stand a cheer, BE. He was sitting in the press area.
And even if I wasn't, my back is just acting up. I couldn't have gotten up fast enough, so... I would have quietly cheered in my seat. But
which of the two of us sounds like a 45-year-old right now?
Probably me at 27.
Dave asks about the Jermichael Ashley firing. Yeah, we'll get into it. I'm assuming
a lot of show left there, Dave. We got plenty of time.
There's tons to get to. And I guess we thought that the entire staff would be back, but it ends up at what's this? 4 years in a row now. You're gonna have a new defensive line coach. So is it recruiting? Some people think there might be something else involved in Sam Pittman's decision to move on from Jermichael Ashley. So we'll discuss that as well. Connor O'Gara joins us bottom of the hour. No guests in hour number 2. And if you want to be part of the show, 877-377-6963. Bright, sunny, beautiful Monday, and halftime will be right back.
It's gonna take money.
ESPN 95.3.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Finding your niche is key to making it in today's world. Hi, this is Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. I found my niche in the NFL for 10 years as a long snapper. Now I have found my niche with Henderson Phillips, helping business owners and executives get the most value for top dollar on employee benefits. I am Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. Call or text me today at 479-651-2292. That's 479-651-2292.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
TGI Fridays is the best place in Fort Smith for food, fun, and football. Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith has your favorite beers on tap. And Thursday through Sunday, all drafts are just $2. Fridays is the best place to watch football with plenty of TVs so you won't miss a second of the action while enjoying famous Fridays appetizers like the loaded potato skins or Friday's signature whiskey glazed sliders. It's food, fun, and football with $2 drafts Thursday through Sunday at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partner. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out on the web at artriallawyers.com.
Nobody has more pre-owned trucks than Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. Work trucks, heavy-duty four-wheel drive trucks, single cab, extended cab, and four-wheel drive crew cab trucks. Fords, Chevys, GMCs, Dodge, Ram, and Nissans. And with historic low interest rates, no payments for 90 days, and the most for your trade, Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford is the only place to buy your next truck. Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
I walk along the city streets you used to walk along with me. And every step I take reminds me of just how we used to be. Oh, how can I forget you, girl? And there is always something there to remind me.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
877-377-6963. We have JW on hold here. He says he's got a hot take. JW, you could basically just call, and we know it's a hot take. So next time you just gonna say, hey, it's me. We'll take it from there.
This is actually, I don't know if it's a hot take or an attaboy, but whatever it is, I love ESPN Arkansas for 3 reasons. Number one, I love the morning rush. But I call this the second service. The midday thing is like the second service. If you miss the first service, you can go to the second service. One of the churches I go to has about 3 services in the morning, and this is like the second service.
I think that makes us. Does that make us the cool? We're the cool pastor then, right? The second service be the cool pastor.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah. And it's kind of a draw between the youngsters. You know, I mean, they're kind of interchangeable. No offense, Drew, but you and Ty, I mean, it's kind of interchangeable. Different locales, interchangeable. But then we get to the afternoon drive time event. Oh, Lord. That is either going to be serious sports talk or we're the ugly stepchildren and they all hate us on this channel. Even ESPN hates us. Or it's going to be like a late-night talk show that I'm prone to listen to sometimes, but you have no idea where they're going or why they're going there.
So then if the morning rush is the morning service and if halftime is the second service, what's Ruskin and Zach? Because they're not in church. They're not in synagogue either.
Having drinks behind the alley, in the alley behind the dumpster.
I don't know. Maybe it would be some kind of like a dating show.
Yeah, and waiting for the aliens to come, probably. They got little tin hats on their heads or something. But anyway, thank you all. I love listening to you. This was quite a weekend of football, and the basketball team is Woo Pig Suey. I just hope they can keep it up. I think when they get that crowd, and like you told Drew, when Kentucky comes, I don't think it matters where Kentucky's rated. That place is going to be rocking. It is going to be. I've been there, particularly in the 94, 95 years, when, my goodness, you couldn't wear many clothes because you couldn't breathe. And you had to stand up about half the time, too. It was wonderful. But anyway, y'all have a great show today, and I will talk to you soon.
Thank you, JW.
Thanks, JW. It's nice to know I'm not my own individual person. That it's just me or Ty. It doesn't matter who is here. We're basically the same. So it's good to know I'm not my own person.
I don't know if that was a hot take or if it was a take at all. I don't know where JW was going there.
Hot take for me because I thought I was Drew Barrett. I thought I was my own person with my own personality and my own flares and quirkiness to me, but apparently not.
And you used to just be your older brother's younger brother, and now you're just the other Ty.
Exactly. I'm never just myself now. Now I was originally Barrett's brother, and now I'm just
Ty 2.0.
Ty's stand-in.
Yeah.
I'm Ty's stunt double then, I guess, since he's the brand.
You're his understudy?
Yeah, he's the brand. I'm the understudy. I'm just hoping that he gets the flu so I can go on stage, I guess.
Guys, BE thinks Ruskin and Zach are the bonfire radio late at night. But I think you've got to qualify that statement by reminding you that that's the bonfire that falls over and might actually burn the entire campsite down in your vehicles too. So be careful.
Yeah, but it's pretty to watch, though. At least when it starts burning stuff, it's pretty, as long as it's not your stuff.
877-377-6963. Cody has taken the leap forward to give us his next take, and Cody doesn't do hot takes, so because he's very calm. He's very collected. So, Cody, the floor is yours. What's up?
I appreciate that, Phil.
Of course.
Hey,
now you keep going.
Yeah, that's kind of that awkward silence right there. I thought somebody would say something. The Bengals played really well. Who Day, kind of like you had alluded to last Friday, Drew. So there's that Who Day chant.
Appreciate it.
I'm worried about the chances that they have at Arrowhead. I kind of feel like the divisional championships could be blowouts, and then I feel like you could have a really good Super Bowl with the Rams and the Chiefs. And what I like about the Rams playing the Chiefs, I think you've got a good enough offense to somewhat match that firepower, which is I've never seen before. But you got Von Miller and you got Sam Donald right there on that D line, so that shuts down an entire edge. I feel like they may be able to get enough pressure on Mahomes. I just feel like every game it's almost like nobody touches Mahomes and he's just got all day. I think the only way you can beat him because he's got too many weapons. You've got to keep unlimited pressure on that guy. He's a real deal. And then, Bill, I kind of want your opinion on this real quick. I was thinking about this. Man, I was like, oh, Desi, have a good career. Thanks for everything you did. We should be all right. Boy, Desi Shields might be that answer we're kind of looking at point guard this year. And I know it's not safe or not healthy to kind of look back at things like that. We need to progress forward. But losing Desi it actually kind of turned out to be a little bit of a hit for us this year, in my opinion. Leadership, pretty good leader. But he could fill that point guard spot, whether it's off the bench or starting, in my opinion. You guys have a good one, all right?
Appreciate it, Cody.
Make a good point. Like some of the skills that Desi was really good at, you could use on this team right now. But yeah, he's not there, and we knew it from the start. But I think who is that? That was Cody. Yeah, Cody raises a pretty good point. As far as the championship games are concerned, I can't. Like, I didn't expect the Niners to totally shut down the Packers' offense the way that they did. But
I didn't expect the Niners to win a game playoffs.
The Rams don't have awful special teams like the Packers do, and that's the difference in that ball game. I think the Rams are going to take it to the Niners, actually, and I don't see how you stop the Chiefs. I really don't. That was –
And Cody's point is, like, it feels like Patrick Mahomes is always on his feet and never – hits the ground. Well, that's because he's one of the most elusive quarterbacks of all time. I mean, he might not be the fastest. He might not be your Michael Vicks or your Lamar Jacksons of the world, but the way that he extends plays. And by gosh, I think this was his first drive of the game, first or second drive of the game. He rolls out to his right, throws the ball. I'm not even sure if it was straight sidearm. It looked closer to a submarine pitch delivery for 10, 15 yards down the field to Hill. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, that's the other aspect of it.
And it had to curve around a defender.
You can avoid the rush. You can extend plays, but your body can be in some really awkward positions, and those are all difficult positions to throw a football accurately. That's the thing that makes
how do you do
Mahomes just so different from any quarterback I've ever watched in my life. And I don't, now that they've been rolling now for 2 months. I think they'll continue rolling.
Yeah, Dynasty ain't stopping.
And Kansas City is my guess for the Super Bowl. And it's funny, too, we get a text here from Jeremiah. He thought yesterday was the Super Bowl. That night game last night.
What a game.
Was better than the Super Bowl can be, I'd imagine. We've seen some great Super Bowls, but wow, those last 2 minutes.
Seen a lot of clunker Super Bowls, too.
Jeremiah said, I know you covered this, but the Super Bowl last night was an all-time great. It was. And there used to be a time we played the Super Bowl on January 23rd, but 2022 ain't it. All right, we got to step aside for the break. Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South joining us next on Halftime.
Hardworking simplicity and serious durability. That's the winning combination you get when you pair a rugged Workmaster utility tractor with a Dura-Disc heavy-duty disc mower, both from New Holland and Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas. You'll maximize the tonnage of your hayfield by slicing a clean, close swath up to 10 foot 4 inches wide, all while operating in confidence and comfort with a Workmaster tractor with high-visibility all-weather cab. Stop by Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas today to learn about this unstoppable New Holland team.
Get in the zone, autos. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
BetOnline has you covered for all the holiday season. More props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all sports action. Head to our new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus with the promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV to receive your bonus. And it's not just football. BetOnline has pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, even your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all these amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession?
Call at 783-1722 or check them out at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Baby loves me, yes, yes she does.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Well, the Arkansas Razorbacks had a big-time weekend. It comes to recruiting, not just in the high school ranks, but also for the transfer portal, which they are killing right now. Let's talk with Connor O'Gara about that, national columnist from Saturday Down South, good friend of the program. Connor, how are you doing today?
Gentlemen, doing well. I think it got below freezing in Orlando last night, so had to put the sheets on the trees, the plants, and whatnot, because believe it or not, we are not built for that down here.
Neither are citrus trees, and you obviously must live right next to a giant orange tree or something like that. So did you cover your orange groves too?
We got a lime tree that we just bought like 3 months ago, and we got an avocado tree as well in our backyard. So we're trying to keep them in the best possible shape. You know, it's the off season for college football, but we can't afford to take a step back and not treat our trees with the utmost care and respect.
True. That's very well said. So the Razorbacks are killing the transfer portal right now, man. I mean, we already knew they were doing well by bringing in, Landon Jackson, Jaden Hasselwood. Now you're getting, and the cornerback from LSU's name is eluding me, but I know, you got Dwight McLaughlin, I think is his name, and then now Latavius Brini has chosen Arkansas. This is a guy who wins the national championship and then comes to play for Arkansas. Of course, there's Drew Sanders, too, from Alabama. I don't know any other team right now that's doing any better than Arkansas is in the portal. Do you?
Yeah, maybe LSU would be the one that comes to mind. I think Brian Kelly's done really well, and specifically even with Arkansas players, Greg Brooks, of course, Joe Fouché. But, yeah, I mean, you can't necessarily say that Arkansas has taken a back seat with the portal, and some other programs definitely are. I mean, I think what do they have? They're ranked in 247 Sports. They're fourth right now in terms of the FB transfer, the transfer rankings that they have, and that's a part of the game now. And when you have these intra-conference transfers available, you have to be able to take advantage of that. And that's the change that's kind of gone overlooked in the last year or so. Everybody's talking about, undergrads and NIL, and undergrads can transfer and not have to worry about sitting out a year. How's it going to benefit with NIL? And the thing that I kind of look at is, well, now you're seeing all these guys, and Brini being one of them. You're seeing these guys who are now transferring within the league, and that kind of creates a new set of circumstances, and it's a good sell for Sam Pittman to be able to make. And I think that that's going to continue to be a big part of how they're going to build the roster, and it should be, because if you can get established SEC talent, then you'd be stupid not to.
I mean, there's a point to make here about just the league in and of itself. I know Matt Hayes wrote about it on Saturday Down South, but, team players, coaches, they want in this league when it is obvious that, in an obvious way to put it, national champions come from the SEC. They are not coming from other programs or from other conferences right now. So is it that simple why the SEC is kind of getting the best transfers in the country? Not just interconference transfers, but from the outside too.
Yeah, that has to be a big part of it. And the NFL draft streak, which will probably continue this year as well, that also coincided with the SEC starting this run of dominance that we've seen the last 15 years. If you were a transfer, if you were a head coach and you wanted to be able to say, all right, I need to be able to prove myself against the best possible competition, of course, you'd come to the SEC. If you were a head coach and you wanted to be able to figure out what your next move is going to be, you would come to the conference that gives the most buyout money, and that is the SEC as well. So it's a net positive all the way around, and it kind of came up with the Kendall Briles thing, of course, where I'm sure you guys have talked about that a good amount, but people are kind of wondering, all right, would he go to a place like Miami? And I continue to say, look, Sam Pittman is right now in such a favorable position to be able to retain top assistants because of the power that he gives them. He doesn't micromanage, and he has an athletic director who will continue to pay up to be able to keep these top assistants. And that makes it a lot more likely that these guys are going to stay. And sure enough, that's what we're seeing play out with Kendall Briles. We saw play out with Barry Odom. And you want to be able to stay in this league. You want to be able to stay in this conference as much as everybody talks about the gauntlet that is the SEC West. There's still obviously something really attractive about coming to this league and being able to have success.
Yeah, Connor, and team that ultimately had the ultimate amount of success is Georgia's. They are the defending national champions. Didn't they just won it a few weeks ago? And I was reading your stuff on Saturday Down South, and you're talking about how it's okay to have mixed feelings about the quarterback situation at Georgia. And I kind of want to give you a chance to kind of explain your take on it. But for most people, I guess, outside of Georgia, you just look at what Stetson Benton has done just on paper is incredible. Not forget the former walk-on story. The guy just knows how to win, and he's won. So why do you think it's okay for there to be that kind of mixed feelings about it around the Georgia program?
Well, think about this. If you just found out that Georgia has had 3 different 5-star quarterbacks leave the program after spending 1 to 2 years there, that has all happened in the last 4 years. If you had just heard that nugget, you'd be like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. And oh, by the way, 2 of those guys were drafted at least in the first 4 rounds, Jacob East and Justin Fields. Georgia hasn't had a quarterback drafted in the first 4 rounds since Matthew Stafford in 2009. All right, this is a Georgia offense that hasn't had a top 40 passing offense since Aaron Murray left, and his last year at Georgia was 2013. So you're essentially saying in the entire playoff era, you've had all of that 5-star quarterback talent, and you've yet to have a top 40 passing offense in that stretch. So it's okay to feel a little bit conflicted. And Georgia fans had to hear all about Justin Fields having so much success 2 years at Ohio State, and of course drafted by my Chicago Bears in the first round. And you have to just every time you watch that, you're going to have that uneasy feeling. And there's a very real scenario in which JT Daniels goes off and has a lot of success next year, plays for a team that's competing for maybe at least the conference championship at the Power 5 level, and then he's an early round draft pick in the NFL. And you have to just kind of accept the fact that this is the path that Kirby Smart has decided, that he doesn't really care about what your next level potential is. He's about winning games. He wants to be able to have a guy who he can trust that's not going to turn over the football. Stetson Bennett was that this past year, and he's who he ultimately trusted in those big-time spots. And so it's okay to feel frustrated that it's like, man, We get all this talent in the door. We get more 5-star quarterback talent than anybody in the country. And still, we don't necessarily have that to show for it. These guys have been billed as the savior. So I understand why there are mixed feelings. Now, if you're sitting here today saying Stetson Bennett, I can't believe he came back and it's going to be a disaster. Like, all right, the guy finished 4th in the country in quarterback rating. He just won a national championship, the first one at Georgia in 41 years. Let's take a chill pill on that. But I understand why there's at least some sort of angst when you see the talent that's leading the program.
And when you talk about the program and the 5 stars, and, of course, we all pay attention and get googly eyes over the guys with the most stars by their names. While it's good for, recruiting as far as what you do at the next level, it's not technically Kirby Smart's job to put as many players in the NFL as possible. His job is to win football games right now. So, as a fan base, you look at, another SEC team, different sport. Kirby Smart has the same amount of national championships as John Calipari does. And we all consider John Calipari a top 5 coach in college basketball right now and has put more players in the NBA than most programs have in their history, but he still has only won 1. Shouldn't winning be the ultimate factor when it comes to how fans view it? Personally, I'd much rather have 0 NFL players and multiple championships if that's the way it was able to work out.
Exactly, and that's kind of the point that I think at least some Georgia fans have realized. Now, if Stetson Bennett had not won a national championship this past year, and if we found out that Kirby Smart was going to go with Stetson Bennett as his starter and JT Daniels is walking out the door, it's a totally different discussion. We're sitting here wondering if Kirby is ever going to get this right, and we're wondering why in the world he was so loyal to Stetson Bennett when we saw in the first 2 times against Alabama that it didn't work out. It's a different conversation to talk about being able to have NFL talent. And obviously that's part of it. That's a big part of it. And these kids care about that, especially in the NIL era, the transfer portal era, where that's easier than ever. You better be getting kids to the NFL, because if you're not, it's going to come back to bite you, and you're not going to be able to have that talent to compete for a national championship. Now, you're right, though. Like, it's more about winning championships. And Georgia fans, if you told them, hey, you're not going to have a single player drafted, but you're going to win a national championship, 100% of them would have taken that. So that's all that really matters in the end game with what Kirby's trying to do right now.
There's an identity. I know teams want to have identities and be good at the things that they focus on being good at, and Georgia has an identity. And I guess part of that identity has been we haven't developed big-time quarterbacks. But at the same time, man, East Division championships, SEC championships, and now a national championship at the same time. I don't know why you'd want to change much at all, because it seems to be working. Even with a guy that was a walk-on, you just won a national title. With a guy that doesn't necessarily have, world-beating talent, he finished 4th in passing efficiency, just like you said. I don't know why Georgia would want to change anything.
Well, if you looked around, that's the issue. If you're a Georgia fan and if you didn't win a national championship this year, you would look around and you'd be like, man, I've seen Trevor Lawrence, I've seen Deshaun Watson, Bryce Young, Tua Tagovailoa, Mac Jones, Joe Burrow, these guys who are clearly elite NFL prospects. All of those guys picked in the first 15 picks of the NFL draft. And meanwhile, we're out here starting a guy who maybe is going to have a cup of coffee on an NFL practice squad, and we're coming up short. Gee, I wonder why. It's probably at the game's most important position that we're not necessarily meeting the standard. And that would be a frustrating pill to have to swallow if you're a Georgia fan, knowing the landscape of the sport, knowing that this is just kind of the name of the game. But you look around now and you're like, hey, well, we did it our way, and that's all right. And now Stetson Bennett, we're going to be able to kind of rally around him again. And who knows, maybe Stetson Bennett's going to become the first guy since A.J. McCarron to repeat as national champ.
Yeah, maybe he's got a shot at it. And I was also reading your article about Alabama should be the number 1 overall seed, number 1 ranking when the preseason AP poll comes out. And it's so shocking to go back and look at it. I know you had it the last 15 years. Alabama is the only preseason number 1 to have won a national championship, and that was in 2017. Two-parter here. One, how is that possible when we know everything about college football in July? We're all experts, and we know exactly how everything's going to play out. How has the AP voters only predicted the final ending one time? And two, how is that kind of not up there as far as, sports curses go? How come it's not on the same level as, like, say, the Madden curse?
Yeah, it doesn't get talked about a lot. And I think it's because AP rankings in the preseason, in my opinion, you're not trying to predict who's going to win a national championship. You're trying to predict what that roster looks like opening day, and what the team has done previously is pretty much going to tell you that. And what have they done in the offseason? What have they done, obviously, in the previous year? But it is kind of baffling. And I think part of it is, look, like 18 to 22-year-old kids who have an 8-month offseason about hearing about they're the number one team in the country. They're the best team. And even 2005 USC, a team that we thought was just can't miss. Of course they're going to win a national championship again. Meanwhile, Texas is sitting there with a team just as talented, if not more talented, the entire time. They're just like, hey, we're getting overlooked. This is our time to shine, and we're going to be able to shine on the big stage. And then sure enough, they beat USC in a championship for the ages. But it is baffling to see that. And even Alabama hasn't figured out the exact right solution, because someone would argue that 2017, that team didn't even deserve to make it to the playoff in the first place, and they won via 2nd and 26 in overtime. So, yeah, it's a wild thing to think about, and it's something to remember with this Alabama team. And if they get it done, in my opinion, that'll make it even more impressive that they were able to handle those expectations and get the job done.
Connor, we'll leave it there. Good luck thawing out your citrus trees whenever it warms up there down in the Sunshine State. Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys. Talk soon.
I appreciate it, Connor.
Connor O'Gara, Saturday down south. You just picture him just like throwing a blanket over a giant lime tree. I don't know how giant a lime tree is anyway.
I'm just picturing everybody in Florida right now with big old parkas on, toboggans, gloves, and just shivering through because it's 31 degrees.
Halftime brought to you by Joe's Grilling Cantina in Fort Smith. Monday specials going on right now. The Mexicali with 2 sides, just $10. It's a chicken breast topped with sautéed spinach, poblano cream sauce, and queso fresco cheese. Get a couple of cheese enchiladas topped with salsa especial. Just $5 for ultimate margaritas all day long at Joe's Grilling Cantina. And don't forget about happy hour from 3 to 6. Drinks are $1 off. Street tacos, $2. Order at joesfortsmith.com or give them a visit across from the Harps. That's Joe's Grilling Cantina in Fort Smith. First hour halftime going to wrap up next.
Ashley Air is a proud sponsor of Razorback Athletics. Heat up your home with a free furnace when you purchase a qualifying new system from Ashley Air. And till February 28th. Get no down payment, no interest for 72 months on qualifying systems. And the Ashley Air Quality Assurance Guarantee, their 12-year parts and labor warranty. Get a free furnace when you purchase a new system from Ashley Air. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your appointment. That's AshleyAir.com.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Tommy Craft for the Fence Man. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
First Western Bank. We are more than just a bank.
We are your partner for all your financial services. First Western has real professionals with years of experience in banking, mortgage, insurance, and investments. From financial services to personal and business insurance to investment products, mortgages, and small business banking. First Western with locations throughout Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley and online at firstwestern.com. Exceptional financial services all in one place. First Western Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Start the new year at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Joe's Grill and Cantina has daily specials like Mexicali Monday with 2 of your favorite sides, Taco Tuesdays with crispy tacos just $1 each, and don't forget everyone's favorite Fajita Fridays. And watch every Hogs game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every televised game. The best Tex-Mex in town is at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
I had one say we were done in a Baton Rouge college ball.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
So how about the thought KJ Jefferson played a little more than half the season needing knee surgery? Dude's tough. You've known that for a long time. But when you play, I mean, is it hurt or is it injured when you need surgery when the season's over?
Technically, that's injured. Yes.
That's injured, right? It's not just dealing with pain. It's dealing with something that's wrong that he played with and kept rolling over people. I mean, you know, for a minute there, it did look like his running ability wasn't quite as good as it was before that occurred. I think it was the Ole Miss game, the Old Maid game. Sorry, JT. But if you can't question KJ's toughness. Anybody that watched even half the games this year, you would have to at least agree KJ is as tough as a quarterback as there is. And now with the knowledge that he was playing on an injured knee, that's somebody you can always get with.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, just to see what he did this year, and I think a lot of people wouldn't have even known that he needed surgery. I certainly was in that boat, and just even all the way up through the Penn State game, the things that he was able to do on a knee that's obviously aggravating him, this knee that has to get cleaned up. It's minor surgery, but then again, all surgery, it still has its own risks, and when you go under the knife, there are always those dangers, even in the outpatient, minor surgeries. So it still is a big deal that he had to have this thing done. Rehab won't be very long. He should be, 100% way before the season begins. But just the toughness of being able to go out there and and depending on really what happens in the knee that he needed to get cleaned up, whether it's, a little meniscus, scar tissue stuff going on there, the cuts that he would be able to make and the way he was able to move direction on a bum knee, that's incredible.
I guess the recovery time, spring practice begins in a little more than, 5-6 weeks, I think? So, there's really no rush back to make it into spring practice, but you would like him to be able to take part in some drills, maybe a little bit in the spring game, but might be a little more for development of like Malik Hornsby.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing Malik is back, who would be playing quarterback during spring drills if KJ needs a little extra time off. And then there's the firing of Jermichael Ashley, which I guess for a lot of us seems like it comes out of left field here.
Came out of left field to me. I didn't
at the end of January. And I don't know what it could be. I mean, you look on the message boards, and plenty of people think that it's recruiting. Maybe recruiting at the defensive line hasn't been as good as it has been in other areas. Let's say linebackers, you could say the same thing. But, I mean, recruiting for the D-line also is the transfer portal. And I would think Jermiah Lashley might have had a little to do at least with connecting with and getting Landon Jackson to come over. This Caleb James that committed to the 2023 class seems to be a pretty highly rated recruit. So, there aren't others, I think, that are very highly rated on the DL, but you do have some guys there that I think are supposed to pay dividends down the line. Jackson hopefully pays dividends right now. Is it something else? Is it a personality clash? Is it
possibly
not getting, not enough development from the defensive linemen over these last 12 months in which Ashley was the defensive line coach? I don't know. I don't know what it was, but I do know that, for Sam Pittman, if you're not recruiting at a ridiculously high level, you're not going to last on the staff too long.
Yeah, because that's something that Sam Pittman puts a very big emphasis on is getting those recruits that everybody seems to want. And he's done a great job of it so far in his tenure at the University of Arkansas. And it could be anything, just clashes of opinions of how you want to run something, just sometimes, just like in sports, things just don't gel together. And, I'm sure that both sides wish each other a lot of success in the future. And I'll go ahead and put to bed the Ed O rumors and things that you've been seeing and stuff today. It's not happening. I mean, we had Mike Detillier on back during the season.
Don't forget, he's got enough money to buy himself a hamburger.
He does. He's Mike Detillier, who's a lifelong friend of Ed Ogeron, said that he'd be shocked if he is coaching in 3 years, let alone next year. And 2, isn't his ex-wife's family from Northwest Arkansas?
I think so.
Why would you divorce someone and then move right down the street from her dad? That'd be weird.
Just to make the ex incredibly uncomfortable. I don't know what their relationship is like now, but that would be the only thing I can think of.
They were married for 20-something years and then got divorced. I can't imagine it was on good terms.
More relationship advice coming up on halftime as we get into the second hour. Stay with us.
Attention residents of Cedarville, Natural Dam, and Uniontown. If you're suffering from slow, terrible internet service, Wave Rural Connect is bringing fast internet to you. The Cedarville zone will be opening up February 3rd, and it is time to pre-register at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372 for fast fiber internet, television, and phone. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Start your 2022 with a splash and save $5,000 off a fiberglass in-ground pool from Burton Pools and Spas. Hi, Tommy Kraft here from my friends at Burton's. There's no better way to start 2022 than planning the backyard of your dreams with a fiberglass in-ground pool from Burton Pools and Spas. And for a limited time, the first 15 customers that respond to this ad save up to $5,000 off their fiberglass in-ground pool. This offer will probably not last through the month, so you better hurry to Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith and save $5,000 off a fiberglass in-ground pool. Invest in your family and the backyard of your dreams at Burton Pools and Spas. In Springdale, just off I-49 at the 412 exit, and on 0 Street in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas. They are your source for backyard fun.
Who is 33 CBD Supply? Well, they have the largest licensed hemp farm in Oklahoma. They are a local CBD product company and nutrition store that focuses on high-quality product development and education. They sell CBD ingestibles, tropicals, pet, and skincare products that contain no THC or marijuana. Stop by today and take advantage of buy one product, get the second product half off. Use product code ESPN50. 33 CBD Supply is located at 2801 Old Greenwood Road, Suite 11 in Fort Smith. Visit them online at 33cbdsupply.com. That's 33CBD Supply.
Family first. My dad used to tell us that all the time. But family first wasn't just something he'd say to us. It was how he lived every day of his life. And it's how I try to live mine too.
At Shelter Insurance, our agents are dedicated to helping provide personalized auto, home, and life protection that puts your family first.
Ask Shelter agents Ted McAvoy or Jeff Clark about a free insurance review.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon into the lower 60s. Now we will be clear to partly cloudy tonight. Overnight lows in the low 20s north, low 30s south. Tomorrow, sunny and colder. Our high temperatures upper 30s north, mid 40s south, and then back to sunshine Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
It's fast. It's exciting.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime, coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
And into the backslope of this Monday on halftime. Phil Elson, Matty T, Drew Barrett with you. No guests, just you and us for the next 60 minutes or so. 877-377-6963. If there's anything you have for us, amazing NFL divisional weekend, 4 great games. Hopefully the championship games on Sunday live up to the billing. Arkansas men's basketball takes down A&M in a very tight ball game that wasn't tight at the start, but definitely did get tight near the end of the first half and for the entire second quarter, and, of course, in overtime. Arkansas women's basketball puts together an incredible third quarter against Mississippi State. They scored 28 points yesterday in the first half and then put up 32 in the third quarter.
That's pretty good. Last time I checked, that's pretty good for a quarter.
Yeah, and pulled away from a team that had come back to tie Arkansas at the end of the second quarter. So that's a great performance in that third quarter. All that and stuff going around Arkansas football. We've got some big-time commits now. We've got Everett Russaw, linebacker from Georgia, committing to the Razorbacks. Luke Haas, a former OU tight end commit, has committed to Arkansas. Dowell Loggins doing some ridiculous recruiting for the tight end position for the 2023 class. I think so.
4 in one class?
Back to being tight end university here at Arkansas.
Yes, we're going to see, I guess, in 2023, and going forward, we're going to see a lot of double tight end sets.
That's right. Probably won't have any more wide receivers moving to the tight end position.
No, probably won't need it because I think you've got the depth there.
I am interested and excited to see what Trey Knox can do if he does put on the extra 15 pounds of muscle that I can't imagine he won't. If they're gonna, he'll force feed himself.
Oh yeah, they'll bulk up.
So I'm excited to see what Trey can do this upcoming season. Let's see. Oh, Charlie's on hold. That's right. Charlie's been on hold for a bit here. So let's go to the tuna. And Charlie, appreciate you sitting on hold for that last segment. And always good to talk to you. What's going on?
Well, Phil, I'm a little upset because you said there were going to be no guests for a while, and I thought at this point I was considered a guest. Kind of hurts my feelings. I mean,
that's a good point.
Solid point.
That's a really good point. The thing is, though, is that all of our guests, usually publish sports stories online or do broadcasts online, something like that. So I mean, if you just start a podcast with one listener, we'll call you a guest.
All right, cool. I'll think about it. Listen, guys, I just wanted to kind of piggyback on what y'all were talking about KJ real quick. I got a couple things. KJ, not surprised one bit. I actually told a buddy after the A&M game, I said, that looks like something he's going to be dealing with all year. And he wore a knee brace the rest of the year. And so, I'm not surprised one bit. He's just one tough dude. And mentally, physically, obviously, and just the way he plays, think about it. Think about how physical he runs. and he never shied away from contact. So I'm not surprised one bit that he had to have a little cleanup after the year, and hopefully gets back to 100% quickly. As far as the NFL playoffs go this weekend, wow, what a crazy weekend. Burrow, he's probably living in an ice bath right now, as many times as he got hit the other day.
Was it nine sacks? Wow.
Yeah, he's living in that ice bath today. But I'm gonna tell you what, that is one tough hombre to be able to sit back there and continue to find a way to make a few plays here and there just to give him a chance, because he had no time to throw. I mean, his offensive line was terrible, and they were just god awful. I mean, I saw a picture on Twitter or Facebook. They just made a picture there with no linemen. It was just all Tennessee D linemen lined up, and it's like he's playing 7 on 11. But it was or 6 on 11. But they were bad, and they got to be better next week, obviously. Anyway, I think the NFL needs to change that rule, though, man. I really wish Buffalo would have got a chance to get the ball back last night. Josh Allen played great, and it was just a great game overall. I hope they look into that. And then I want to talk about the basketball team a little bit, Phil. Man, what I thought what happened the other day was a team that, in my opinion right now, is really – and I know Musk does not like to go deep into his bench, and that is true. But I think they just tried to hold on the other day, and that's why you saw what they were doing offensively down the stretch. They're pretty much – dribble, ISO, get a mismatch, try to find a way to score that way. And I think it was just, in my opinion, they were exhausted. And, the guys have to play so many minutes. It's really frustrating when they don't have guys who can at least come in and give somebody a breather. But all hell breaks loose when JD or Jay Will. Well, one of them better be on the court, because if both of them are on the bench, all hell's going to break loose. Anyways, guys, I appreciate it. I think I'm listening.
Hey, appreciate you, Charlie. It's good to hear from you. As far as the rotation goes for Arkansas, I mean, you can't be surprised now that you've just sort of centered around essentially 6 guys, and maybe when Kamani's ankle is fully healthy, he'll get back into that. But I think Chris Lykes has fallen out of favor with this team, and I mean, he had a couple of really bad turnovers there very quickly, and I don't think you would have seen him all that much if JD had not fouled out. Jackson Robinson, not really. He had his opportunity, and he right now just proved to be just a three-point shooter, and even those weren't going down. And Connor Vanover's like barely even on the team anymore. So, yeah, that's when you end up –
They need to take off his warm-ups.
That leads to a recipe where 3 players play 42 minutes or more, and I thought that there would be a little bit more depth, and there still might be roles for Connor at some point. Though I'm not sure if I see that happening for him or for Jackson Robinson. And then to see is Devo now a guy coming off the bench, because I don't think they're going to take Trey Wade out of the lineup the way he's defending. I think Trey's going to be in there for the foreseeable future. I think they love the way Stanley Amude is guarding and also rebounding. I think Devo is going to be coming off the bench. I did not see him being a sixth guy, but that's what he is now.
Yeah, and ultimately, I think Eric Musselman, I don't think anybody can be anybody that's on that bench that isn't in this 6-7 man rotation, if you even go to 7 with Kamani Johnson, can be that upset and be and have a feeling of they didn't get their opportunity, they didn't get enough playing minutes to show what they can do when they can contribute, because we saw everybody play. We saw every different rotation. We saw every different combination of players on the court at the same time. Everybody got their due shot. And when it comes to a guy like Connor Vanover, where you just look at the size and just how tall he is, and you think, man, how is he not getting on the court? It just feels like such an advantage to have somebody that tall. But when you really look at what he brings to the game outside of length, it's really nothing special about what he's able to do. I think he's a liability on the defensive side, can't move very well laterally. And then offensively, his production, even underneath the glass of where he doesn't even have to jump, can just put it in. It's not that great, and it's definitely not worth the liability on the other side of the court. So, unfortunately for Connor, I just don't think he's a great D1 basketball player.
Yeah,
and I hate to say it, but we've seen enough evidence. This isn't his first season here. You would think if he had an attribute or something that was really separated himself from somebody else, he'd be getting on this floor, and it's just not happening. He doesn't play physical enough. He's unfortunately, I think it's just his body type. I don't think it's from him not trying to gain some muscle, gain some mass on him. I just think everybody's body is different, and his body just won't allow him to do that. And it just affects his ability to play physical down low, where he'll, even though he's almost a foot taller than some people, he's getting manhandled.
Well, let's talk about someone who is a really good Division I basketball player, and that's Jalen Williams. This guy can do it all.
My favorite player of all time, and he's making me look like the smartest man alive because I've been talking about it for weeks.
Man, I mean, to fill the box score the way that he did, I mean, there's 5 things you look at in the box score: rebounds, points, assists, steals, blocks. I mean, you can look at fouls drawn too, and Jalen draws lots of fouls from opponents. Heck, I mean, he had a charging on Texas A&M. What was that, 37 seconds into the game on Saturday? Yeah. But it's amazing. It's not just the double-double. It's everything else that he puts out there. 14 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, half a dozen steals from the center position, and 3 block shots. And he's doing this on a routine basis. Like, he's not like a big-time shot blocker, but he is an assist maker, and he is a rebounding machine right now. And he's never going to be your featured scorer, but you know, when J.D. Notae goes out of the game, I think Jalen took it upon himself to try to do a little bit more scoring, and he can do it.
Yeah, he really did take over when J.D. left, and you know, you kind of feel good. Obviously, you don't want J.D. Notae to foul out of the game. You want your leading scorer to be in there, especially in crunch time minutes and overtime. But you felt good from what you saw from the other 5 that were out there, being able to make up for what you were losing on the scoring side with J.D. Notae out. And Jalen Williams actually today has been named the SEC Co-Player of the Week with Auburn's Walker Kessler. Williams averaged 16.5 points and 10 rebounds this week. So he's playing at a very high level, and just everything that we listed from the box score, it's the things that don't have statistics for. It's the things that you can't put in a newspaper or in a box score online that he contributes so much. And it's out, not just the charges, it's the way that he is able to play the full court. It's phenomenal to watch.
I think for Kessler, there were some statistics that you can look at, but he also, like, there's a new term for there's a second kind of posterizing you can give somebody on a basketball court, and Kessler did that to Severe Wheeler from Kentucky in the Auburn-Georgia game, and he set that pick and knocked him down, and Wheeler was down on the ground for like 5 minutes. Somebody with Kentucky's going to get Severe Wheeler killed at some point this year. That's now 2 games in a week that no one's communicated with him, and he has run right into a giant screen from a center. And Wheeler's what, 5'11", maybe 6 feet?
Maybe.
He's going to get killed. Yeah, Wheeler put that, not Wheeler. It's the 7-footer from, one of the 2 7-footers from Auburn Kessler. That was the screen of the year. I know Jalen can set a screen too. Hopefully he'll knock down one of those Mississippi players on Wednesday.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
877-377-6963. We'll have some thoughts on NFL overtime as we get more into the second hour of halftime after this.
He sings the songs that remind him of the good times. He sings the songs that remind him of the best times.
You know what that alligator would say? After eating me, I just had a bite of the youngest sports talk radio host in Arkansas.
I loved your guys' intro. Got me all fired up. Long-time listener, listen to you guys every day. Been listening since day one.
Because you know what BOAT stands for, right? Bust out another 1,000. That was, good Lord, man.
I'm trying to get rid of this moth.
Well, can we do it sometime other in the middle of the segment?
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Ashley Air is a proud sponsor of Razorback Athletics. Heat up your home with a free furnace when you purchase a qualifying new system from Ashley Air. And till February 28th. Get no down payment, no interest for 72 months on qualifying systems. And the Ashley Air Quality Assurance Guarantee, their 12-year parts and labor warranty. Get a free furnace when you purchase a new system from Ashley Air. Just go to ashlayair.com to schedule your appointment. That's ashlayair.com.
Some of my fondest childhood memories are from volunteering with my grandmother. Helping others was her passion. She'd always say, "The sweetest fruits of life come from serving others." And she was right.
At Shelter Insurance, we strive to make a positive impact in the communities where we work and live.
Ask Shelter agents Brandon Zimmerman or Chris Dooley about a free insurance review.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Gelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Gelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Start the new year at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Joe's Grill and Cantina has daily specials like Mexicali Monday with 2 of your favorite sides, Taco Tuesdays with crispy tacos just $1 each, and don't forget everyone's favorite Fajita Fridays. And watch every Hogs game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every televised game. The best Tex-Mex in town is at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
I could just let this song play.
I was about to say, you just vibing? I was looking at you.
I could just let it go for a while. And anything by the Beasties, especially this one. They did that this entire album, Check Your Head, through a megaphone. All the lyrics through a megaphone. It was weird when you heard it the first time.
But now it's cool.
Now it's super cool,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. 877-377-6963. Greg in Mulberry texted us.
He's got a source.
He's got not just a source, impeccable source.
Love the use of words.
Someone who must be right there inside the program, helping
Boots
the
on the
decisions
ground,
be
yeah.
made. Greg, we say that halfway jokingly. Maybe you do know Someone right there in the program. I don't know. He says, Jermiah Ashley canned over recruiting and developing talent. And wouldn't that be what a defensive line coach would be let go for, or any other coach?
I mean, that's kind of like 90% of his job.
Yeah, if you're not recruiting, then you better be developing the guys you bring in.
Ain't doing either.
If you're not developing the guys you bring in, well, you better recruit guys that just innately know how to play the position. Either that, or he pissed off Sam Pittman, something awful, doing something. Who knows? But I haven't seen anything in the news reports. Is there people scanning the police scanner and all that stuff? And nobody's seen anything like that. So it must be recruiting and or
player
talent development. It would make sense. That's what coaches do. Charlie calls and then he texts. I love it because we have the back and forth with Charlie. He talks to us in a lengthy phone call. We answer back, and he hangs up in the middle of that, and then he texts back to us. It's an interesting-looking conversation going both ways. He didn't like the NFL overtime rules. And the NFL –
well, that's too bad.
Well, the rules are what they are. So, you just have to play with it by now. But they've already changed the rules once. That was like 10 or 11 years ago?
I'd say closer to 10 than 11, and I know that's kind of
the
nitpicking
first
a little
game
bit. But
played with the overtime rules that we now employ, best way to put it, was Denver beating Pittsburgh in a divisional round game or a wild card round game. And that was, remember, it used to just be sudden death. You kick a field goal, you win. Well, the new rule said you got to score a touchdown for that first possession to end the game, and it was one play. It was Tim Tebow. I think it was to Demaryius Thomas over the middle. Ball.
It was,
80
just
yards. And that
quick
was
little 5-yard slant across the middle. But
you knew whoever got the ball first, though, yesterday was going to win, just because neither defense could stop anybody, and they just looked completely winded at the end.
Like, we had three lead changes in the last minute and 20 seconds.
How many different points? How many points were scored in the last? It was a minute 20.
Yeah.
If there were that many points scored in a minute 20, there was no way someone was being held to a field goal or not, or punting in that overtime period. It was just not going to happen.
And the thing is, like, you always see this when it happens, especially in a great game like that. Yeah, does it kind of suck that Josh Allen didn't even get a chance at it, and that the Bills' offense didn't get a chance to come back? Yeah, it does. But at the same time, and I was trying to explain to the missus last night because the game bled over into our FaceTime time, so I was talking to her while I was watching the game. And I was trying to explain the overtime rules to her, and she just like everybody else was like, "Well, that's not fair." And I'm like, "I'm sorry. I don't know why everybody complains about it. It's not like they switched the rules yesterday and nobody knew about it. And it's not like they're going to change the rules now. So, like, all this complaining about, well, that's not fair. It's overtime. Them's the rules, man. There's nothing that we as fans can do. There's nothing that the players can do. If the NFL likes it that way, because the NFL is really big on time management as far as their games, they don't want to get into this 4-hour game time that we get in every single college football game. I mean, goodness gracious, those things drag on forever. And the NFL likes the fact that they normally get their games done in 3 hours or less. So this is a way for them to control that time, and it does suck. I'm not saying that I think that it's the way that it should be, but the outrage and just the how dare they not even give Josh Allen a chance? And this needs to be changed right now. Priority number one, and not just sports, but all of America. This is the first thing we got to change to have a better society. It's just overreaction, and I'm not here for it. I think it's fake overreaction, because if it really outraged you that much, you'd be talking about it just as much July 24th as you are January 24th. And you don't. Nobody cares. Nobody gives the overtime rule a second thought unless it's happening. And then all of a sudden we're all back on board, back outraged again. No, come on. It is what it is. Dim's the rules. I'm sorry. Life's not fair.
Well, that's poo-pooing the idea that the NFL can change the rule. I mean, they've already changed the rule once from what overtime used to be to what it is now. And they did that because it didn't make sense for a field goal to end a game on a first overtime. It made a lot more sense for it to have to be a touchdown.
Yeah.
The problem for me is, in every other sport that you play, the offense is always going to get the ball, in an extra inning, or in basketball in an overtime period, or in hockey, probably at least. There's much more exchanging of the ball or the puck in that case.
Technically,
for football,
you could not get an offensive possession in hockey, but
at least college football gives both teams the ball. I think they went way to the other extreme with this 2-point conversion thing after the second overtime, but I like the idea of everybody. You should have an opportunity to possess the ball, because by the end of the game, usually defenses are winded, and I think there's going to be an advantage for the offense. And maybe that's just recency, because that's what we saw yesterday. We saw plenty of other games that in overtime nobody could move the ball. The Steelers and Lions tied. The Raiders and Chargers probably should have tied. So I just like the idea of everybody getting an opportunity to possess the ball and then go sudden death after that. But,
I would
it is
too,
what the rules are right now.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean that the NFL won't, if there's enough outcry and if there's enough outcry coming from the rules committee, that they can change these rules. And I wonder if they might look into it in the future. I don't think it'll happen next year, the year after, but at some point
it's not high on their priority list. And you heard Patrick Mahomes talk about it after the game, basically saying, yeah, it sucks, but I'm not going to complain about it because I'm coming out on top right now. It sucked a lot worse 4 years ago when he lost the game in overtime to Tom Brady and the Patriots. His first go around in the AFC Championship.
You hear this more in the playoffs.
It helps you. It hurts you. It's just like everything else. There's good things and there's bad things. It just depends on what side of the coin you're on.
You hear it more in the playoffs, too, because I think you feel like you hate the idea of somebody's season coming to an end when they didn't have a chance to possess the ball in overtime.
But football is celebrated and looked at as the ultimate team sport, right? Like, if not all 11 guys do their job on the football field for every single play, then things will go wrong. It's viewed as this huge team sport, and it's the only sport, when you talk about the major four, that guys aren't the same group of guys don't play both sides of the ball. You don't talk about having defensive and offensive players in basketball, baseball, and hockey. They're both. So with it being the ultimate team sport, technically the Bills had guys on the field that had an opportunity to do their job, and they failed. It's a team sport.
I'm not buying that one.
It's a team sport.
Team sport, but the offense and the defense that might be teammates never play together on the field at the same time. I feel like you might have helped make me a point there for me.
I don't know. I feel like I feel really good about my argument there, just because it's not like in a baseball overtime where the guys didn't even have a chance to do anything. I mean, the team still had an opportunity to go out there and do what they had to do to win the game, and they failed. And I'm sorry that Josh Allen, the offense, doesn't play defense, but that's the way it is. And you just got to look at the other side of the locker room and go, I know it's Patrick Mahomes, but you couldn't stop him once in 4 drives. Like, come on. There has to be some blame on the defense as well. If we're all thinking that Josh Allen and the offense would have gone out and scored, well, you need the other half of the locker room to do their job for you to at least get a chance.
Robert in Fort Smith, you're on halftime. What's up? Real quick, Robert, you there? I think Robert's gone. All right, Robert, appreciate you making the phone call. We'll get to you next time at 877-377-6963. Stay tuned. We'll come.
Series compact track loader from New Holland. Its industry-leading 360-degree visibility is truly something to see at Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas. With its reverse camera and 8-inch multifunction LCD display, super boom lift technology, rock-solid stability, and redesigned controls, you'll work with greater speed, safety, and precision. Maximum productivity starts with a clear view. Stop by Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas today and see how a new 300 Series compact track loader helps you do more.
Hey, Ray Magliozzi here. Have you ever cooked a really fine gourmet meal? Yeah, me neither. But I'm told it all comes down to the ingredients. And when I need ingredients to improve my car, the place I go is eBay Motors. Whether you roasted your last transmission, graded your current floor mats, or pureed your side view mirror on a lamppost, eBay Motors has the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them. And by the way, if you recently fired up your grill, don't worry, eBay Motors has grills too. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new 2021 trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith now has vaccinations available for ages 5 and up. Law's Drugstore has the Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna vaccines. These vaccines are safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
NWA Gold and Silver has moved to a new location in Fort Smith at 4600 Rogers Avenue across from Med Express. NWA Gold and Silver is always buying gold and silver, scrap, bullion, and coins. Plus, NWA Gold and Silver buys and sells jewelry of all kinds. Diamond rings, wedding bands, engagement rings, earrings, and more. Bring in your gold or silver today to the people that pay the most and have the best deals. NWA Gold and Silver in their new location at 4600 Rogers Avenue across from Med Express in Fort Smith.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, City!
It's the one and only Digo Double G. Snoop Dogg. You know I'm mobbing with the D-R-E.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
All right, Arkansas basketball this week. Mississippi on Wednesday. The women get LSU Thursday night. That'll be a really good game. Kim Mulkey coming in.
When do they come in? What is it?
Thursday night, yeah. Arkansas LSU women's game.
What time?
Oh, you would ask me what time that would start.
I might want to make a trip.
It's a 7:30
Kim Mulkey?
tip-off.
I mean, that's important.
7:30
Somebody you want to watch,
Thursday
Coach.
night. You'd love to get a big crowd late game Thursday night. LSU has, I think they're top. I haven't looked at the rankings for a bit, but I think they've been at least top 15, close to top 10, playing really well, though they did lose by 1 against Florida yesterday. One of the things that stood out about the women's game yesterday was defense of this team. Rickea Jackson, who went in yesterday. She's the top forward for Mississippi State, led the conference in scoring, 10th in the nation, 21.2 points per game. She finished with 8. That's the only game this year Jackson's been held under at least 12 points.
Sounds like some good defense to me.
4 out of 15 shooting. She's incredibly difficult to defend because, I mean, she's got that ability, those springy legs. I mean, she just has this leaping ability. I saw this from I keep forgetting that Jabari Davis, the 6'10", 7-footer or something at Auburn, who just has this beautiful jump shot that he lets go at the top of the tallest leap in all of Auburn, Alabama. And Rickea Jackson kind of shoots the same way. And if she elevates, like it's done. You're not going to be able to get that high. But Arkansas just hounded her. And Sasha Goforth deserves all the credit for it. That's what Mike Neighbors told me when he sat down with me after the game for our post-game talk. And for Sasha to get out there and get a double-double of 13 points, 12 rebounds, and also blocked a couple of shots, and to be the player, I know it was a team effort, but to be the player who had to watch Rickea Jackson, and she didn't watch her because if you watch Rickea, she's going to score 30. You defend Rickea, she still scores 18 or 20 against you, yet Goforth held her to 8. So I can look at 32 points scored by this team in the third quarter yesterday and say, yeah, you got to score points. The shooting was off the charts. Samara Spencer was amazing yesterday. That's 2 games in a row, by the way, that Sam has scored either 18 or 19, and that stroke that she displayed in the first 2-3 weeks of the season and then kind of disappeared for a bit, it's back. But it's the defense of being able to hold Rickea Jackson to just a bucket in the first quarter, 8 points for the entire game. That's why Arkansas won that one yesterday.
And it seems like the 3-ball is starting to come along. You talked about Spencer, 5 of 8 from beyond the arc, 9 of 27 as a team for a cool 33.333.
It's a lot of 3-point shots too, right?
Yeah, I mean 27. That's a pretty big attempt number. But let me ask you this: as we're sitting 19 games into the women's basketball season, where does this team line up as far as March Madness goes? Are they an at-large bid team right now? You know, I'm not saying top 5-6 seed, or do they still have some work to do outside looking in? Where are they at?
Well, I think they would be in right now. Their net ranking is number 26.
That's pretty good.
Nobody that's in the top 30 is being left out of the NCAA tournament. So, but there's still so much more to come for women's basketball. Like the men's team has a lot more work to do. Their net ranking, and this has to be because of the schedule, the preseason, the pre-SEC schedule. Their net ranking is in the 50s. I think if I remember correctly, it was 55. Did I see that correctly?
I was going to say 52. I think we're either one of us is right or it's right between it.
It's 55.
Okay, you were right. Obviously, I was wrong.
It's amazing because the women's team is 13-6. The men are 14-5. But yet the women's team has a net ranking that's 26, and the men are at 55.
Well, that happens when you play UConn and South Carolina in the same
season. And go
on
the road and play on the road, too. So
and that's going to reflect that.
There's a lot more work for the men's team to do. But it looks like they're ready to do that work. And it's not like the women's team doesn't have work to do. They do. You know, how do you keep that net ranking in the 30s? You beat LSU at home. You know, then you go to Tennessee on the road, and if you get a win there, gravy, my friend, gravy.
Oh, yeah, always impressive regardless of how great of a team. Tennessee's got a good team this year.
They're undefeated in the league.
Yeah, so it's always great to get a win against the Lady Volunteers. And just looking at the league, State, what's happened to them in the last few years? If I recall,
Mississippi State?
Yeah, they were rolling there for a good 4 or 5 year stretch.
They lost. I mean, Vic Schaefer took the Texas job. He was the head coach that built that program into what they were, 3 Final Fours, back-to-back national runners-up.
Yeah.
And then Jets for Texas. Eventually be back in the SEC, but then they hired Nikki McCray-Penson, who was the UCLA head coach and had been very successful there, and she had to resign just before the season started due to health concerns. So they've got an interim head coach, Doug Novak, and I mean they've got plenty of talent, just not a lot of depth for Mississippi State. So that's one of the, you always say when it comes to powerhouse programs, we'll call you a blue blood when you keep the program at the same level under a different coach. And
can't
right
just
now,
be a flash in the pan. One guy gets it done.
Well, I mean, for Tennessee, they didn't stay at the same level that Pat Summitt had it when Holly Warlick took over. But let's be honest here. Nobody could be quite at that level for that long unless you're UConn or now South Carolina. So we'll see what happens when Dawn Staley decides to move on, if she ever does, because I think she's probably going to be there a lot longer.
Got a pretty cushy job with a great program. And I mean, you've seen a little bit of a downslide for Tennessee. It's not the same, Tennessee team that was packing out Thompson Bowling Arena night in and night out with Pat Summitt every night. But you also eventually you're going to see a slide from UConn. I mean, when Gino's out, there's going to be some, I guess, growing pains of trying to rebuild under a new coach. And it happens in every sport, and I don't think UConn will even be exempt from it. But you got to have sustainability. That's why you become a blue blood, is doing it over multiple years, multiple decades, and multiple coaches.
So let's see. Women get LSU Thursday night, Tennessee Monday night, then a road game at A&M. And that's been winnable. A&M's really been struggling. Auburn at home. Auburn is hot garbage this year. Mizzou on the road, tough one, winnable. Florida on the road, tough one, winnable. And then Kentucky, Georgia, Mississippi State. The women's team does not face the gauntlet that the men's team is facing in the month of February. It's not to say they don't have some tough games, but the men's schedule in the month of February, that's why it's like, let's get this thing. It's rolling right now, 4 in a row. I'd like to, wouldn't you love to see an 8-game winning streak going into play against Auburn at home?
Oh, you'd love it.
Yeah. So
it's possible.
Old Maid on Wednesday. Old Maid plays Florida tonight, and hopefully they're just exhausted. That game needs to go into quadruple overtime. West Virginia Saturday, winnable, tough game. Go to Georgia. Don't lose at Georgia. Don't lose at Georgia. Nobody's going to lose to Georgia this year, so don't be the team that does. And then Mississippi State at home. You got to win that one at home. I don't think you can afford really that many home losses any longer. I mean, the home game's coming up at the end of the month, end of February, Tennessee, Kentucky, LSU. I'll assume by that point LSU's got their point guard back and they're playing better. The men's team has the gauntlet coming up. These next 4 games are not a gauntlet.
Oh, yeah. I mean, February is going to be a very tough month for Arkansas, and I might end up watching that Ole Miss game tonight because, unfortunately, first Monday without football since September 6th. So I guess I'll watch basketball. I mean, and this is where you really start to transition into basketball, really start to pay more attention nationally, and should be some good games on tonight and throughout the week.
Tell me one thing you can get me to watch: Florida versus Old Maid basketball. Get a Manning cast on this thing too. Let's have Eli Manning and Tim Tebow going at it, talking nothing but football during a basketball.
We got Texas Tech and Kansas tonight because it's Monday, and that means Kansas basketball because they play every Monday.
Oh man, I still remember does ESPN ever even call their Monday night college basketball Big Monday? That used to be a big thing. Oh, miss those days. Don't forget about the Fence Man when it comes time for new gates and fence repairs at your house. Fence Man should be your only call. They do it all, the large commercial jobs and the small residential repairs. Things like wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial, residential, chain link, or custom wrought iron fencing. The Fence Man is the only one to call, so do it at 479-782-3936. Ask about 18-month same-as-cash financing at the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. One more phone number for you. That's halftime here, and it's 877-377-6963. Wrapping halftime with a cherry on the top next.
Who is 33 CBD Supply? Well, they have the largest licensed hemp farm in Oklahoma. They are a local CBD product company and nutrition store that focuses on high-quality product development and education. They sell CBD ingestibles, tropicals, pet, and skincare products that contain no THC or marijuana. Stop by today and take advantage of buy one product, get the second product half off. Use product code ESPN50. 33 CBD Supply is located at 2801 Old Greenwood Road, Suite 11 in Fort Smith. Visit them online at 33cbdsupply.com. That's 33 CBD Supply.
Here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
BetOnline has you covered for all the holiday season. More props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your #1 spot for all sports action. Head to our new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus with the promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV to receive your bonus. And it's not just football. BetOnline has pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, even your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all these amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
BetOnline has you covered for all the holiday season. More props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your #1 spot for all sports.
I'll be the one who's tough. You'll be the one who's got it rough.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Got a stack of callers we'll get to in just a moment. First, reminding you that you might be fishing for cold water bass on Beaver Lake, Table Rock. Might be looking for a trophy brown on the Mighty White. Make sure you have the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue with you. It'll catch him. It has that famous rolling action, whether it's fished extremely slow or worked fast in heavy current. And this Rogue suspends. It'll be in the strike zone longer, and you can catch more fish. That's the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue, available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LearnNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. So let's go to the phones. Jason in Frankfort has given us a call. Jason, what's up?
Hey, Phil, before you left for the break, you made a reference to Big Monday. I'd like to throw it back a little bit, too, to the Real World on MTV and that confessional booth. Can we do that?
Oh, wow. I mean, now you're really bringing it back here for me. I can only remember the only guy I ever remember from the Real World was Puck. Who everybody hated on the Real World.
Right.
He must have been like the most evil man in the world.
Can't say I'm familiar.
You weren't even born yet.
This is where reality television started, was the Real World.
Well, because he was
So
always
those are the people we have to blame?
He was always giving Pedro a hard time. And then, of
can't
course,
give Pedro a hard
Pedro
time.
left us early. So, really, he just shows what a bad
And I remember
guy Puck
Pedro.
was.
I do not like Puck. I do not like Puck. He insults me. I do not like Puck. All right, anyway. What else you got, Jason?
So my confessional is JD Notte. That guy, he makes me want to cuss. He makes me want to say words that would make my mama blush. I'm happy that I'm on a treadmill when I watch these games with the shots and the turnovers. They had entirely too many turnovers with the coming from the guard spots. I think there were 11 or double-digit turnovers coming from the guard spots. And it was against Texas A&M, and they're a good defensive team. But, man, before that game on Friday of last week, you said they've got to value the ball. And so it was really frustrating for them to shoot the ball so well, but then just be careless in how they took care of it. That's my confessional. I'm not out on this team. This team still has my support. I'm still along for the ride. But, man, I'm glad I'm on a treadmill moving along rather than sitting still, because I'd probably take a remote and smash it sometimes with some of the mistakes.
Yeah, Jason,
anyway,
I mean,
that's my confessional as a fan.
You make a good point.
Appreciate
I'd
the call.
say JD is an incredibly exciting player to watch. He is not the most disciplined when it comes to shot selection. And, yeah, the turnovers are a problem. I mean, you get JD with 5 turnovers in 30 and a half minutes, likes 3 turnovers in 11 minutes.
Was a plus 14, though.
I mean, yeah.
Only double-digit plus guy on the roster from Saturday's game. So you kind of with JD, I think you got to take the good, the bad with the good, but I think the good ultimately outweighs the bad night in and night out. Yeah, you'd like the turnovers to be down to 1 or 2. You don't want him to get around a full handful of 5, but if the good that you're getting is 17 points, a plus minus of 14, and the bad you're a few ill-timed shots, a few turnovers, I think you take it.
17 points on 21 shots is not a very efficient
great,
number.
but
it isn't. And likes with a minus 10 in 11 minutes.
That's really bad.
Has not worked out quite as well as I think we were hoping for. Robert's on hold, so let's go. Robert, you called back real quick. Thanks for calling back. What's up?
Real quick, guys, that Rams Tampa Bay game, do you feel like that the Bucs would have came out and won it if it would have went to overtime? Because the Rams defense was looking real tired and haggard, and I think they just got lucky and hit that big play and won. But if it would have went to overtime, I don't think the Rams fan would have been happy. See y'all.
I have no clue because I was watching a women's basketball game at that moment anyway. I can't believe that you would let the best receiver in the game to get past you. I mean, we will make fun of like prevent defenses and all that kind of stuff. How did that happen?
I mean, you talk about prevent defenses. You talked about the Chiefs-Bills games. The fact that you let Taysom Hill wide open. I know you're playing prevent. It's an under route basically. Only about 5-10 yards, and then it's just with his speed he's able to bust it loose. But that is definitely not prevent defense. And I kind of agree with the caller that if it would have gone into overtime, I think the Bucs would have pulled it out just due to the fact that they had the Rams defense on their heels. I thought the game was clearly over halfway through the third quarter, and Bucs were able to make a game out of it.
Well, again, I wasn't watching because we had a women's basketball game to worry about at that moment, so I missed the first one yesterday. Who's next? John, you're next on halftime. Appreciate you you're hitting in the 3-hole. That's a tough place to hit sometimes.
I'm listening to you fellas. I love it. I'm 75 years old, but what these crybabies is crying about not fair. Why don't they just put 3 minutes on the clock? Split the difference. I mean, if they got 6 minutes, split it. Give the 3 minutes. If they make a touchdown and both of them make a touchdown, take the one that made it in less time. In other words, you're fighting the clock, and that put an end to that.
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious the NFL is still going to be using a clock for overtimes, where the NCAA, college football it's all untimed. So they want the clock, and maybe, Drew, your point about trying to fit the game into just a 3-hour window.
They like that short window. They don't want to get up to 4 hours like college football does.
I will say, like, if that's what the reasoning is for playoff, people don't care about the length of playoff games. They don't, and a game can.
Well, can you play the game with different rules in the postseason than you do in the regular season?
They did when they first instituted the rule. This rule was initially just for the postseason in 2012. So that's, that was really weird when they decided to do that to begin with. And I think baseball was going to do something different this past year. They weren't going to have the stupid rule of putting the runner at second base in the 10th inning when they did that during the regular season. So I still just think, to me, in any sport, even though football is different than all the others in that you either play offense or defense. In a game where the ball is exchanged, the offense deserves a chance and then go into sudden death. And look, I also agree with you right now of the idea, Drew, that this is the rule, this is what it is, but that also
live with it.
That also doesn't mean that they can't change the rule. And that also doesn't mean that people aren't going to complain about it when it happens in the middle of January. Nobody's going to care about this in July. Nobody
but that's
ever
the thing. That's the only time, if you kept the outrage going, you kept the pressure on the NFL outside of the few days that we're going to be talking about this before you start to preview the AFC and NFC championship. If the outrage stayed there that long, if there was just as many people outraged about this rule July 24th as it is January 24th, then we'd have a chance of getting it done, being able to apply some pressure to the NFL. But just having outrage about something that you only think about when it happens isn't going to force anybody to change anything.
Well, a fire comes from a spark at some point. You watch. Bills Mafia will be doing some sort of a card table jumping experience outside the NFL offices in the middle of July in New York City.
The rule might get changed, but for 99% of people out there that are so outraged and I hate the overtime rule. Yeah, you hate it now because it's in front of you.
Yeah, in the middle of July,
what's in July.
We're too busy bitching about the rules in baseball, because that's right in front of us at that very moment. So
if you want things changed, you kind of need to keep the same anger and be like, hey, we're still upset about this. Let's see if we can fix it. Not just we're mad now and then 2 months later, what were we mad about again?
I think it's the
and then it comes back around. I mean, that's the only way things change.
I think that rule will eventually change.
It probably will, and it probably should, but as of now, them's the rules. I'm sorry.
All right.
It's that simple.
And we've made it to the end of a fabulous Monday edition of Halftime. We got to actually do work tomorrow. Mondays are the easiest. So for Drew and Maddie, have yourself a great rest of your day. This is Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.